Ezehu Chacham Halamed Mikol Adam, who is wise, the one who learns from everyone.
We believe that students must be encouraged to accept their mistakes and learn from them.
We believe that making mistakes is a crucial component of the educational process that allows students to think more critically and grow as learners. Students should not feel a need to memorize material in search of a perfect score, rather a passion to focus on and internalize relevant course content regardless of the material they may miss or get wrong. This belief should be manifested by teachers challenging students to complete thoughtful revisions and corrections on tests, essays, projects, and more.
Well, I feel like the GAN environment is very good at making sure that everyone is given equal opportunity, just because it really is prioritizing learning over the grades. If you go and meet with a teacher, they will give you the chance to revise if they see that you are actually taking up the initiative to learn because you are interested in learning.
Earlier this year, for an English essay, I found myself very caught up in the content of my essay and focusing a lot on the content and less interested in the skills aspect. But it gave me a great opportunity, because when I turned in my essay and I got the comments back from my fabulous English teacher, Mrs. Strapp, I was able to go back through the essay, correct all the grammatical mistakes that I made, and turn that in for a grade. But then again, the grade wasn't the important part. What was important was the learning experience.
No two students are the same. Therefore, no students should be treated as such. We believe each student has unique strengths and weaknesses, and that students' individual education should reflect that. With each student comes many different skills and areas of improvement. If a teacher is constantly creating lesson plans that only work to a certain strength, then some students will be put at a disadvantage. Therefore, an education should include all the different ways one can learn information, knowing there will be certain students who need more help given the approach taken.
One time when I felt very drawn to what I was learning was on my freshman year Expo Week, when I went on the civil rights journey in the South with Mr. Cadden. And while we were on this trip, I never felt that I was missing a word that someone said. I always felt really passionate with my listening. And this is coupled with the fact that I was never a great listener. I was the kid who was very antsy in class, still am. But on this trip, every single word that these fascinating individuals said was a story.
The new CD&F spaces that we're putting in again, I think, are the first time that we're really allowing students and faculty to mix in the most physical, hands-on way possible. It's great to have a discussion in a classroom, and it's great to have students involved with all parts of the discussion. But when you've actually got students motivating the conversation, when they're the ones building a project and asking the teacher for guidance instead of the teacher asking for an answer to a question, or instead of the teacher prompting a response in a discussion, this is the first time at GAN that we will actually have students leading that cause, and students asking for help, students doing their projects, leading their projects by themselves. And it's an incredible opportunity for GAN students to really take this lead and show who they are in their projects that they're going to build in the new spaces.
The goal of education is to place students of all backgrounds in an environment which enable them to succeed.
A lack of proper education across certain demographics of people further racial and class divisions in our country. Regardless of a student's circumstances, each individual has the right to a quality education. Those who struggle academically should have access to resources for help both within the public and private school systems. Education should be provided for students, and students should feel comfortable advocating for equal education.
Last year we did a History of Disability project, and the goal of the project was to approach the conversation of the history of disability in America. We were a group of juniors, and we were given this assignment. We had all year to sort of create this museum that would end up being displayed in front of all of Waltham. The one thing that we were trying to do when we were approaching this project is understand that this is a very sensitive subject, because everyone does have their own differences, but that is also okay, and that our differences do make us unique and can be something special and can be celebrated.
In an ideal scenario, at the culmination of a student's academic career, they should be able to not merely recall the ways in which they have grown and improved academically, but the ways in which they have grown as a human being.
Although academic success should be at the foundation of an excellent education, students should be provided with the tools necessary to support their personal growth. In addition, teachers are there to do more than teach academic information. A teacher's role is to help students learn problem-solving skills and life skills that will prepare them for the world and be a support system and advocate in and beyond the classroom.
So sophomore year, I went on the GAN My Israel trip. It was a 7-week-long program, and I went with my classmates. It was my first time going to Israel, so I was very excited, but also kind of nervous for this new experience. But I just felt immediately at home when I got there.
One of my favorite experiences at GAN is probably trying out for the lacrosse team. I've never played before GAN, and it really proved to me that I can really, if I put myself out there, that it doesn't hurt to just take a chance.
Michelle and I actually weren't very close friends at Rashi. We knew each other, we were friendly, but we became very close friends in sophomore year.
So basically, something that GAN taught us is that you should really feel confident with reaching out to people because community is really important here. Everyone should be close to one another because no matter if you don't share the same opinions or the same values, that's okay and you can support one another. Like Shauna said, we really were not close before GAN. And I think that because of GAN and thanks to GAN, we were taught that you should reach out to people you have never spoken to before because although you might not have spoken to somebody at your prior school or you might feel like you're alone, you should feel as if everybody will support you and you should support everybody. So that kind of happened to us and now we're best friends, and I really think that's because of GAN, and without GAN teaching me their values and me figuring out like what's important to me with GAN's assistance, we wouldn't have become best friends.
I'm one of the leaders of GAN's community service organization, which is Tikkun Olam Union, and community service is a really big part of the GAN community. Tikkun Olam is really emphasized in almost everything we do, and so one thing we did at the beginning of the year was have a community service fair that brought in over 10 organizations in the area to present to GAN students who were looking for community service opportunities, and I feel like in my role I've really been able to strengthen the presence of community service at GAN.
Before I came to GAN, I had never experienced any other type of Jewish religion besides being conservative or reform. And at GAN we have Shabbatons, which has everybody in your grade come to GAN and you all sleep over and you do really fun activities on Shabbat. Because of those Shabbatons, I really got to experience all different types of Judaism in one night. And I got to see how people value Shabbat and the activities they have at home, what they do, and that was really amazing to me.
Okay, so when I joined the GAN dance team freshman year, there was only 4 people, and it was like a super tight, close-knit community, really great. We all bonded a lot, and every year it's grown more and more people. And now the team has over 15 kids on it. Every year we got to meet new people and bring them into our bond, and it's been a really nice experience.
I'm on the lacrosse team at GAN, and one thing I've really loved about being on a sports team and a student at GAN is that everyone's just really passionate about being on a sports team, but also takes their studies very seriously.
So Dr. Hochman, one piece of advice that I'd give you as you come into GAN is that you continue the culture of strong student-teacher relationships that are really at the heart of the educational experience at GAN.
When I chose GAN because I wanted a unique high school experience. What I saw as unique was GAN's focus on experiential learning. What I think is so special about GAN is that it gives you the opportunity to take your learning beyond the classroom. As you come in and start implementing your values as you see fit at GAN, I really hope that you continue building GAN's experiential learning department and giving students opportunities to follow their passions in ways that they're unable to at other high schools.
I would tell Dr. Hochman to maintain the close student-teacher relationships at GAN, because that was really helpful for me coming into high school. I went to Cornell Academy, which is a very small Jewish day school in the North Shore, and I had a really hard transition to high school. And I definitely would have had a much harder time transitioning if it weren't for the faculty at GAN. So just to really make sure that students are still reaching out to teachers, and teachers are still making time to meet with students and are taking care of their students beyond the classroom.
Dr. Hochman, when you come to GAN, you're going to notice immediately how special of a community this is, how special of a place this is, the bonds that people have. And I would implore you, when you come, to come out into the lobby during dismissal or when students are coming into the building in the morning and chat with students, see what they're like. Figure out what the student dynamics are. There's a lot of really amazing student relationships here, and for you to understand those relationships and be extra cultivating of those relationships is going to be an incredibly important aspect of your time here at GAN.
If I had one thing to say to you, Dr. Hochman, it'd be just to keep this community that is so thriving and energetic going, like, especially just like in the lobby at GAN, when you walk in, you see all the students walking around, everyone's together, everyone's having fun, and even people who like aren't normally hanging out outside of school are just there together. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing that we have at our school, and just like to keep that going, to be talking to the students, to encourage this energetic atmosphere that we have. That's what I would wish for.
I would definitely tell Dr. Hochman to really to allow the space to have important conversations with different people with different beliefs and different religions, because those are where really, really good conversations happen, and to not shadow and hide people from certain events that happen, and to really allow space for conversation.
I completely agree. And I also think that it's very important for you to reach out to the students here at GAN and form a relationship with as many students as you can, because I think that once you form that relationship, it'll allow so many different students to feel as if they can come to you with problems they have, or if they want to tell you about something amazing that they did.
I just wanted to tell you guys, I love GAN so much. Thank you for giving me the best 4 years of my life. Gonna miss you.
Roll Hefts! Roll Hefts! Roll Hefts! Roll Hefts!